Okay, so in sideline position here, we're going to address the shoulder. I like working on the shoulder and sideline because you give you so much opportunity for mobility. So we're going to start with a few simple loosening techniques. So starting from the head, we're going to, again, find the head of the humerus. And we're just going to use the palm here and place it, and I'm just light stabilization of his head, and then I'm just going to extend my arm here to get a nice stretch of the neck. Again, utilizing your body weight. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there's a classic acupressure point that we're going to start with here that's right on the top of the shoulder. And every acupressure point has a particular initials and a number. And the initials refer to what meridian and organ it's associated with. And the number has to do with, because every meridian has a certain amount of of subo, of acupressure points. So where it starts is 1 and then as it continues down. So this particular one is on the Gallbladder Meridian, and it is Gallbladder 21. Pardon me?
Oh, 21.
21.
I was thinking
20
20.
is up under here.
Oh.
21 is here. And when in sideline position, you can use their ear as a general locator for gallbladder 21. Gallbladder 21 is on the highest portion of the upper trapezius, about halfway between the border of the neck and the shoulder. So, but I like to use the ear just to get in place, and when you compress, you'll feel like a little bound up piece of tissue. Right? That's gallbladder 21. So there's a couple ways of stimulating it. Brace thumb so that you take the pressure off and you just let yourself lean in like this. Pressure's okay? Too much?
No, it's good.
So that's easy because I'm using my body weight. Or else, if you're working on someone bigger or the thicker trapezius, I'm going to use the inside here and just sink in this way. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure? So easy to loosen this up. Okay? And we're just going to come around now like this. So here, I'm like this, and I simply come like this. And I'm going to use the palm of my hand to compress here just to start. So this is that same meridian that starts on the side of the head. And then I'm going to come down like this. So come so you can see. Come. You can be in the video, it's okay. We'll put little black bars on your eyes if you don't want to be up. So to help release shoulder, it's very imperative to have some loosening here of the musculature above because it affects the dynamic of the shoulder girdle so much. So in this position, we're going to go up underneath the occipital ridge and deal with suboccipital muscles, but also there's another wonderful acupressure point there, the aforementioned gallbladder 20. So define gallbladder 20, and you can do this on yourself, actually. If you feel for the bony protuberance behind the ear, okay, and you come about a thumb width behind that and up underneath the occipital ridge, you press in there, they should feel a little dull ache. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And notice how I'm doing the pressure. So my hand is open, my thumb is extended, so it's like right around the neck, and then I just lean in, gets the point. Now, a lot of people are muscled different ways, and if there's a lot of congestion and you want to apply a little bit more pressure, I would suggest this. So see this hand position here, so you have control here, and I'm just going to place my thumb on the point, and rather than excessively press here, I'm going to depress the shoulder. You feel a little acceleration in the pressure there.
That actually feels better.
So very nice to loosen up the neck. And then I'm just going to come a little petrissage down here to here. So we come to the top of the shoulder, and I'm going to intertwine my hand and then just lean back. start loosening up shoulder with some
It's a nice one.
pressure. You can see he's always trying to get his face on the video. It has nothing to do with his intro. Okay, so before we do specific point work, we want to do a little bit more loosening of the shoulder girdle. So along with depression, I'm going to let my hands split so that I have nice control of the front and back, and I'm going to do some nice range of motion. Right, because range of motion, full range of motion, engage all the stabilizing muscles in the shoulder. One way and then the other. Okay. Now, on the majority of people, I think you can get some motion here, because another dynamic that affects the shoulder girdle is the aforementioned rhomboids and also these middle fibers of the trapezius. So to address those a little bit, I'm going to let the shoulder fold forward a little bit, and then you can have more exposure to the lateral border of the scapula. So I'm going to take my fingers and just place them up underneath the scapula, like this, and rest my hand on the back of my thigh, and I'm just going to lean my body weight back. And what it does, your fingers are hooking up underneath the scapula, and you're giving a nice stretch of the scapula off of the rib cage, just by using your body weight. It's okay, man?
Yeah. You can go harder.
No, I don't want to. Too much work for me.
Doesn't that kill your fingers though?
Not yet. 34 years, still okay.
You're not really pushing in with them, right? You're sort of
Just leaning.
I'm just,
it into
yeah,
them.
I'm bringing the musculature here. So just here. Okay. Now, if you look at your manual, there's a couple of nice points to address. And look at where you see the small intestine. I think it's the third page where it says SI. Somebody give me their handout. This page. Right? And see in the box. Right? So small intestine 9, 10, and 11. Okay. Now 9 and 10 happen to deal with the teres muscles that help stabilize the shoulder. And teres is very important to get some nice openness and mobilization here. So to get the points is like this. Here's this axillary crease, or the crease of the armpit, and you follow that up, and then it's going to end. And then if you come about a thumb width above it and press in and depress, it's okay?
Yeah.
You're in, that's small intestine 9. And then if you come all the way up to the top of the crease, right underneath the acromion, that's small intestine 10. That's teres minor. That's a little tighter, yeah. And that's key. So you can use the axillary fold to come up. And when you come to the end of it, about a thumb width above 1, press in as you mobilize back. And then all the way up to the top, you'll feel the contour of the teres this way. So you're working, maybe too much for your thumbs. You know, small person, big person, maybe too much. So another way of doing this is opening the arm up like this and using elbow.
Mm.
Pressure's okay?
Yeah.
Now I got it.
Yeah.
I was a little low that last time, so I had to get a little higher. But opening the arm up so you can come all the way to the top, leaning in and then closing the arm down on it. Very nice. Also, too, after that, to open it up, you just go like this and stretch it a little bit. So that's 9 and 10. 11, you'll see on your manual, small intestine 11. So we open up these teres. Now we're going to come on the back of the scapula. And on the back of the scapula, below the spine of the scapula, is the infraspinatus muscle. So, and the infraspinatus muscle is a pretty big muscle, and it has nice attachment to the head of the humerus, the humeral shaft, actually. So to find small intestine 11, which is on the back of the scapula, you feel for, let's do this, the spine of the scapula and the inferior angle of the scapula. And then you just come up about 2/3 of the way and you'll feel a little indentation, and that's where the point is. It's pretty thick there. They should feel a little dull ache if you're in the right spot. There it is, here, yes?
Yeah,
Okay, because there is a noticeable split in the muscle, like the infraspinatus muscle. The fibers run two different directions. The lower majority of the fibers run up at this angle. The upper fibers run just parallel and distal to the spine of the scapula, running this way. So there's a slight little split, and in that split is where the point is. There's also nerves that come through there, so it's a little sensitive, but it's a lovely point to help release the infraspinatus muscle. Okay. Okay, cool. And then we're going to bring the arm down. And we're going to, this is the last thing, we're going to stretch it. And in your, let me see your handout. In your handout now, we're going to look for these 2 points, triple warmer of 14 and 15. And there's these classic points that are up in between the heads of the deltoid. Come a little closer. So here's the top of the acromion shelf. Here, push up into my hand. See these splits here? This is posterior head, this is medial head, this is anterior head of deltoid. In between these splits, okay, nice one. Up underneath the acromion shelf is one of the points we're looking for. This is triple warmer 14. Read what it says in that box as far as direction of where triple warmer 14 is.
Distal to acromion molecule edge between the medial and posterior deltoid.
Okay? So I'm below the acromion shelf, in between the medial and posterior deltoid. And you want to come right up underneath there, and there's a nice little point right up high underneath there. Sometimes you have to lift the arm up a little bit to get it, but it's a nice point to work. Is that a little sensitive?
not too bad.
Okay, good. So this is 14, and then 15 is right above the superior angle of the scapula. So triple warmer 15, the next point in that box, is the attachment of levator. So it's a very important point to release here. So you feel for the superior angle of the scapula, and then you press right above it, and that's triple warmer of 15. More readily easy to do from this position. So here's the superior angle of the scapula, and you want to come right above it, and you want to just sink right into this point, because that's where the levator attaches. And you remember the levator has attachments here, but also it attaches to the transverse process of the cervical vertebra. So it's really powerful to help release the shoulder and neck. Okay? All right. Okay, let's just stop there.